They're expensive to install it themselves.
So I know that Free Keene and Robinhood, some associated groups are having people that are in charge. Is there anybody here that considers themselves in charge, or is there a central committee of Stop Free Keene? I mean, who's on the central committee of Stop Free Keene? Is it an anarchist organization? That's what it is, isn't it? I see the uniform actions of everybody. It's clear that it's anarchist. Nobody's in charge.
That's not anarchy, that's chaos.
Do different people have different titles maybe? Like if you're an elder, if you've been stopping Free Keene for longer? Is there anybody who started Free Keene? They're the Trotskys, right?
Stop a website.
I would love to have some sort of communication with Stop Free Keene, but I'm banned from the group and I'm not allowed in. So it doesn't enable me to have communication with my neighbors. It seems that some of my neighbors, calling themselves in all caps with 3 exclamation points, Stop Free Keene, are the types of people who would want to be exclusive of others. Not letting differing viewpoints in, allowing viewpoints that are threatening, derogatory, sexually explicit. I mean, I realize recently you've been removing such posts, but not advertising to the public the fact that they're there and they're prevalent. I mean, how many people in the community need to be threatened by members of Stop Free Keene before one person in Stop Free Keene is going to stand up and say that's inappropriate? How did you guys respond when Graham Coulson was threatened by somebody? How did you guys respond when myself was threatened by somebody named Travis Hobbs? How did you all respond when there was a man on the internet claiming he was going to kick my ass in a YouTube video and was also saying his wife was saying that they were going to get a Mosin? If you're unfamiliar with that, that's a sniper rifle. Another one of your members named Bob Lance, do any of you know him? He posted a picture of me with a laser sight on my head. Doesn't that disturb you? How would any of you feel if you had a picture of yourself posted on the internet with a laser sight on your head? That's disturbing.
In a firearm right below it.
Yes, and a picture of a firearm with a laser sight on it. What does that say about your group? What does that say about your organization? And how does your lack of a response to that sort of thing say about all of you?
Bob Liz can also be quoted as saying, "I'm willing to be a martyr for the cause."
I mean, I just like to think that there's a few sane people in that group, but I fail to see any response. It seems like it's coming from outside of that group whenever there's any critical thinking about what's going on in there. Does anyone have comment on that? Does anyone say, no, I don't stand for threatening people, that I'm against threatening people? Or is everyone just complacent with that? Because that's what I see here is complacency. And it seems like it's blinded by a number of things. Maybe it's blinded by a dislike of others' opinions or religious beliefs. But if we want to progress as a community, we got to grow beyond that. But it's evident that where is that sort of mentality going to spring from? Where is it going to grow out of? It's going to grow out of the type of people who are so closed-minded that they can't even have a conversation with those whom they disagree with. They just want to form into an echo chamber on the internet with them. Well, not with the people they disagree with, but the people they agree with. They don't allow dissent. They're the, I guess you could say that they want to be their own form of dissent because they see us as legitimate. That's very mature. And I appreciate that Stop Free Keene has tried to set itself up as the primary form of dissent against Free Keene. Free Keene is an organization that has struck chords here in Keene. It's struck chords nationally and internationally. It's making a difference the world over. And it's wonderful, it's an achievement that such an organization, or not even an organization, a decentralized group, has caused a secondary group to rise up in response to it. At the end of the day, everything is still framed under the guise of Free Keene, whether it's Free Keene itself or Stop Free Keene, in all caps and with 3 exclamation points. But of course, who are the rational ones? Are it the ones using all caps and 3 exclamation points? Or is it people that speak their minds clearly and speak openly and truthfully? Oh, that's awesome. Jane's filming. communication is important, dialogue is important, but when you close yourself off and you don't allow there to be dialogue with other people, what does that say about your view of the humanity of others? What does that say about your respect for others' opinions? Being unwilling to engage in a dialogue? What we get here is silence. I've heard things said about cult-like behavior. Neighbors that can't communicate with other neighbors because they're in an exclusive group. I'm seeing cult-like behavior. Is there anybody with their own opinion? Is there anyone with independent thoughts? Or is it all lockstep? Everything that goes on Free Keene is A-okay, or Stop Free Keene is A-okay. Everything's chipper. This is the status quo, standing in Central Square holding signs, protesting a barbecue. Does anyone want to engage in a sing-along?
Depends on what the song is.
Are there any songs that maybe could bring Free Keene and Stop Free Keene together that we all know? Song unites people. I thought food united people too, but you guys don't want to eat.
The tacos are seriously fantastic, I promise.
So is there anything that anyone likes about Free Keene? Or is it just all negative?
Johnson Rice over there.
Is there any feedback that can be received one way or another?
Would any of you guys be interested in Kool-Aid?
Come on, drink the Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah.
Can I say something very quick?
Yeah, go for it. Say whatever you want.
Free speech.
I can totally understand if you guys are afraid to actually say what's in your mind. Expressing how you feel about different things. This pretty much would be the time. Just say how you feel about it. Don't be afraid to. Is that good?
Yeah, sure, man. Thanks. Is nobody willing to talk because they're afraid they'll get into an argument? I mean, people can just talk like neighbors. Like, talking is how your brain, like, dialogue with others is how your brain formulates different ideas. If people close themselves off from others and don't interact with others, I mean, what does that do to their own mindset? Like, what does that make them think about themselves? It's gonna breed a false sense of confidence. There's a reason Republicans only hang out with Republicans, and Democrats tend to only hang out with Democrats, and Stop Free Keene only tends to hang out with Stop Free Keene. The division is unnecessary, but if you guys choose to like live a division, I don't know, I think that's rather ridiculous. Other people here, I mean, I wouldn't say everyone's associated with Free Keene, but like, we're all doing our own thing. We're not standing in a designated spot. I mean, you guys all look like an army right now, to be honest. Do you want to live in a more regimented community? Do you want to live in a place where there's more rules and things for you to follow? I mean, it seems like this was pretty strict how you guys have it set up here today. Did you agree? Was there a rule, no talking? Or was that something you all came to through consensus? Is there anyone that doesn't agree with the no talking rule? I would never voluntarily put myself into a position where I wasn't communicating my ideas, unless there was some sort of threat over me where I couldn't communicate my ideas.
Especially at a protest.
So I'm wondering why it is that everyone's choosing to be silent. What is it? What is the purpose of that? So does anybody here do anything for the community, like akin to what Robin Hooding is, where we try and save people from getting tickets? Where we pay people's meters for them so that with 5 cents or 10 cents or 20 cents, we can save them from $5 or $10 or $20 in fines? Does anyone have any feedback for a better idea, maybe a better approach? Do they have an alternative to offer? Is it everything Free Keene does that most of you guys don't like? Is it some things? Is it the articles on the internet? Is it the videos? Is it our videography style? I mean, I'd love to know specific things. I'd love to get direct feedback. But what I tend to just, when reading Stop Free Keene, a page I'm not allowed to comment on, all I really get is negativity. I don't really see anybody presenting alternatives. I don't see people presenting ideas for how to counter this other than, let's gather in Central Square and hold signs, which is great. I'm glad you guys are all here. But there's, I mean, really, is this it? Is this going to accomplish anything? People stand in Central Square for hours every day holding anti-war signs, and the wars still go on. Are any of you working to end the wars in any way? Do any of you support the wars?
Yes.
Are any of you against the wars? Do all of you subscribe to similar political ideologies, or are you from different political ideologies? Are you from similar or different religious ideologies? Are you all Christian? Are any of you atheists? I would doubt that there's atheists among you, because I'd be honestly surprised to see atheists standing around silently. Usually they're very outspoken. Any atheists? I respect whatever people's religious beliefs might be, but most people that do have religious beliefs tend to believe that they're supposed to share them with others. So I'm wondering if anyone here is interested in sharing their religious ideas with me or with others. I guess you guys all have the idea that your religious beliefs and professing them come second to stopping Free Keene in silence. That's the impression I get. Would anyone like to do any chalkings? We got some chalk with us. If anyone has any messages they want to express, chalk is a wonderful medium.
Do they have to stay as long as we're here?
They came out
If
late.
they leave early, then
They
they
came
stop
out late,
stopping
but
us.
like, do they have to like stay until we leave?
I have no idea.
Pretty much.
I'm just curious. I mean, like, do we have
I'm
to
gonna stay
like,
here.
like, as long as we're here, do they have to be here?
I'm gonna prove that we're stronger. That our
How do they
force
communicate when their
will
end time is if they won't talk?
end
Is
up
it
changing all of
affecting?
you.
I can say that we have food and we'll let you talk. You can say whatever you want if you just defect. You guys get hungry? Don't be afraid to go up to the gazebo, get hamburger, get salad.
The meat was USD inspected, right? Isn't one of those signs that's accurate, right?
If it was bought at Market Basket.
Sure,
that would
it's
have
like
been
from
inspected.
it's not from a local farm. It's nobody
Yeah.
just ground it up randomly. It is in fact USD.
I did not see the cow get killed.
So they can be assured that it's safe.
Yes.
Okay.
You guys' government has inspected the food and deemed it to be totally cool.
Oh yeah, and I think she's gonna take out.
It's like they can't trust if it comes from a local Keene farm, but as long as it comes from a grocery store and has been inspected, then it's okay.
So we eat the same food you do. That what makes us different than how you are. Think about it.
I'm wondering how many of you guys regularly would do a sort of protest activity, because people who tend to do protest activities are usually pretty good about, hey, here's the ideas that I have, and here's how I can express them using verbal communication and the English language. But it's almost like we don't even speak the same language, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, exactly. No, they absolutely.
To you,